Hilavana Mikalai, Iwano Matsa, Aloni Costuno and Esalen Nation. Nishma, Hielki Tukanansha Masana Tahawi Pizi, Atsea Pami Amichak Asamuatas, Efehe Hetan, Aloni Costuno and Esalen Nation, Efehe Hetan, the Greater Monterey Bay Area. My name is Louise Miranda Ramirez. I am the tribal chairwoman for Aloni Costuno and Esalen Nation. I am the mother of Green Star. My daughter was 14 years old when she passed away of leukemia, and she always said, "Who's going to remember me? Never let me be forgotten," and that's my job, to make sure she's never forgotten. So I have a special connection with Dennis Banks, and he doesn't even know it. My daughter in 1992 was in the hospital in San Jose, and a young lady came and she said, "My name is Vishita." She says, "I'm Dennis's goddaughter, and he told me to get over here and pray for your daughter." And 24 years later, I'm able to say, "Nimasia now Pasalaki." We're sending her and making sure that my daughter knew that there was that connection of Native people. And so 24 years later that she's been gone, and I finally get to say thank you. So I said, welcome to the homeland. As I said, my name is Louise Miranda Ramirez. I am the great-granddaughter of Thomas Santos Miranda and Maria Inez Agnes Garcia. I am the granddaughter of Thomas Anthony Miranda, and the daughter of Alfred Edward Miranda. Thomas Anthony was married to Marquesa Robles, who is Chumash, so I'm also Chumash. My mom is Chumash from Buenaventura, so that's my genealogy. In 1905, C.E. Kelsey came into the area to identify the landless Indians of California. When he came into Monterey outside of Carmel, he went and there was no Indians in Carmel Mission at that time. And they told him that outside of the mission, there was a band. And he went down there and he met my great-grandfather, Thomas Santos and Maria Inez Agnes, Thomas Anthony, my grandfather, and his daughter. And they were identified as the last time we were federally recognized as the Monterey Band of Indians. And then he was called back on emergency and only had the chance to put plus 50 in the margin. So my grandparents were with 50 other people that were considered the Monterey Band of Indians. What I'm going to do is a prayer, and it's La Sodnoyam, Las Met, Las Iapa, Las Elseway, Let Salewa you, Let Kialpa Hik, Tahawi Kominan, Tahawi Pizi Hatanwatsa, Sana Asana, Laka Imita, Tahawi Pizi Hatan Kominan Le Efehev. Let Kialpa La Sodnoyam, Pami Tahawi, Name Huya, Ikipasa, Laka, Las Pas Hano, Neme Masiane, Let Kialpa Ahik Neme Paya, Tohesa La Tahapsa Laka, Tawini Nene, Pami Hesiha Tihak Neme, Tahawi Pizi, Honia Let, Efehe Let, Antu E, Kolo, Laka Neku Tahapsa Ahik, Name Hesiha, Lechi Hilapa, Pami Orpa Neku, Kak Efehe. Hatan le Iwanomatsa, Name Ka le Sitampizi, let Ka Iwano Laka, let Masiane, Ka Huya Name, Intimpa Uwelo, Ewa Imitano, let Kapek, let Kalai, let Cha'a, let Imita, Hama Kominan, Tahawi Pizi Hatan Matsa Laka Let Iwano Matsa. Creator, grandfather, grandmothers, and ancestors, we good way come. We ask that you protect all protectors of earth, river, water, and sky, protectors of all our people. We ask Creator to protect you with strength and peace in your hearts. We ask that your leaders give their knowledge and continue to work as your protectors. From our people, we send love and knowledge that you make us proud to be the first people of our homeland. You are our warriors. You are home, but we are home, but our spirits are with you. Standing Rock forever, we are one, we are here, we live, we stand with all the protectors of earth and homeland. We have in the way of our people, we have a few gifts for Mr. Banks there. I need a car. I gotta have a table there so I can go through this bay.
Mobile car, mobile table.
I have a necklace with abalone and shells. Feather for you. And we have a coloring book with our language so that you can become acquainted with some of our language. And let's see what else was I supposed to do in here. Of a bag, but everything's getting lost in there. And I have some other information. There's my card, some bookmarks, and some information about our tribe and people here. Thank you. So, I introduced you. Oh, I'm sorry, I have another book. This is seeding. It's the Monterey mugwort. Our people use in place of sage sometimes. We use it. It's called ishak, no? In our ishak. No. And people call it mugwort, black sage, wormwood. It's got many different names. Good for stomach aches, the leaves and that, but it's seeding. You can plant some.
Thank you.
And did you want to say it again?
Mr. Chairwoman. Thank you very much. Would you like a microphone? I'd like to thank you very much for the eagle feather. The eagle feather is a very important instrument of trust and loyalty and a great relationship between us and and the protector of the skies, the eagle. And because the eagle protects us, and it gives a feather, maybe one or two every year. And if you're lucky enough to find them, you're very blessed. And so that relationship has continued now for centuries upon centuries upon centuries. And so we don't kill the animal for the feathers. We only honor the eagle. And so when we find the feathers, we treat it with respect, saying we will never allow this to hit the ground. And if so, then we will even have a ceremony to retrieve the feather. So that during your time of life, you might commit many good deeds, and the community will recognize that, and they will call upon a huge ceremony, and they may give you an eagle feather for those good deeds. And so there's great honor in presenting the eagle feather, and great honor in receiving it. So miigwech. I'd like to also recognize one of my longtime friends of many years, many walks, Henry Dominguez, and his family, Naichi, and the rest of the family. Thank you very much for staying the course. Sometimes, when we run into health issues, we want to stay at home and nurse those issues, nurse that health, give us healthy time. But not Henry. I've never seen him put down a great event for people in place of staying home and watching his health. Instead, he like myself, we will go to the events, even though we might be guarding our health, because it is events like this that strengthen the heart, strengthens our soul. It strengthens the very essence of who we are. So I'd ask him to go with me on this next walk, but his wife might be very mad at me right now. Because many times I've taken him with me on these cross-country walks. I've now walked across this country 8 times. And this last one was on calling an end for drug abuse and also for domestic violence. Domestic violence has been generation after generation after generation. It's been in all of our families, beginning wherever it began. No one knows where domestic violence begins because it's always there. I mean, something goes wrong in the family for the day, and we get mad at the kids, or they get mad at us. So it's there. So getting mad is one thing, but going to the next level of madness and striking somebody, that's where the violence is. Once we start talking about it, people will join the conversation, and that's part of the healing process. I'll give you one example of a husband and wife, and they were sweethearts going through elementary school, and grade school, and high school, and college, and they got married, and about a year later, the striking of the wife began. And it lasted for several years until finally she told him not to do that anymore. But he continued. He come home, been drinking, got her up, slapped her around to go cook something for him. And she went upstairs and she come down and she had a gun and she killed him. But she stood there in front of all of us and talking about her husband. He was my first love. And I still go every day. I go to the graveyard. And I will not marry anybody else because he was my first love. And we have 3 children. And they come with me. That's the sad part of what domestic violence brings to us. But there was also a happy ending for another couple that came. Navajos, both Navajos. And he got up and he started telling about what he'd been very mean to his wife. And they finally, they stayed the course with their marriage. And finally, one day he begged on his hands and knees to his wife that I will never, she was threatening to leave. He said, I will never, ever do that again. Never. And she stayed, and the life began to get better for both of them. And then they both came to on this walk in late March. We were on the Navajo reservation, and there they were. And he was running for councilman for a seat, and he was asking for support from the community. And she got up and she also said, I spent 6 or 7 years, since there's been any infraction, any fighting going on. And we got to, we left there, and I wished them well in their life, and they called me, they both called me. I was just happy, and they said that he won the election and the community forgave him. And now they're on solid footing with their life, with their marriage. And that's what we have to do. We have to begin to put it on the table and discussing it. Like, who are we? We are tribal people. Most of us here are tribal people. And most of us were born with, as a Native person, we were born with responsibilities and duties to this earth. Nobody came to us with rules and regulations, but the duties and responsibilities created an unforeseen responsibility of being a caretaker. A caretaker. We know what caretakers are for. Caretakers of apartments and buildings and homes and stuff like that. But how do you become a caretaker for Mother Earth? What are your duties? Our duties are simply to pray and give thanks for the rain after the rain comes, and to give thanks for the crops after the crops are harvested, and to give thanks to every flower, every blade of grass, every tree, every breath of air, every glass of water. That's who we are. We are related. We are related to all that we see. it's hard to understand that concept. And many times when I say, I am part mountain, I am part ocean, I'm part river, I'm part earth, I'm part flower, part maple tree, oak tree, all the trees. I'm part moon, grandmother moon. I'm part this earth. We all are, as a matter of fact. And so when people began to understand that understanding, then you will begin to understand what the soul of Native people, indigenous people, who we are. Then you will begin to get a hint of, my God, that's who they are. And so those duties and responsibilities are with us today. And the people at Standing Rock, we're calling everybody at Standing Rock the protectors of the water protectors. And that's who we are, even standing around here. We are protectors of the water. You know, if we were in town and if there was somebody's house was burning down and you began to hear children screaming from that burning house, you'd know what you would have to do. And you know you would do it. And so the same, when the earth is crying and hurting, then you know what your responsibility is. That you have to move very swiftly to protect the water. The water cannot speak to us. Sometimes we don't even say thank you to the water when we finish drinking. We take that for granted. Sometimes we don't even thank the air that we breathe because we're too busy. And sometimes even a fresh vegetable, tomato, a carrot, we don't say thank you. Well, we do. Maybe we might give a spirit plate every now and then. And so now things have piled up on us. See, in North Dakota, when the fracking was going on, I was out there in North Dakota when they were doing all that stuff. And even my Native brothers, they know me by name. Come on, Banks, go home. Geez, you know, we have jobs. These are giving us jobs. When you're killing the earth, those are not jobs. You're killing the earth, the very earth that we depend on, that we all depend on. When you ruin the air, and if you call that a job, then you've missed the entire point of who you are. Even as a human being, you're missing the point. If the factories are pouring out poison to the air, and we're way out here, but we can still see all the poison coming in like Los Angeles. You know, when I flew in here 2 weeks ago, it was almost like a cloud, different color, like it's almost orange coming into her. And then when we got off and I got my luggage and come outside, and I could smell, oh my God, I could almost like hurting my lungs. I have to go back inside. Sometimes if we see it too late, but very soon it might be too late for all of us because we didn't do this. When we saw, when we smelled, when we tasted, the difference with the food and the oil gushing out and going into all of our drinks and the air just ruining our lungs. Maybe that's too late. I still live in a place in the woods on the Leech Lake Reservation, far from the contamination of water, far from the contamination of the air, far from the contamination of the soil. I feel good, but I know that I have responsibilities also to speak about what is wrong with this fracking, because I know what it does to underneath, deep down. And you have people fighting for those companies. You have big lawyers fighting for the protection of those companies and allowing them to have the right to frack. That's where that joke comes about these attorneys. You know, why do the attorney have to be, when he dies, why do you have to bury him about 100 feet down? And the answer is, people say, you know, deep down they're really good people. They're not good people even at 200 feet, even 1,000. Protecting those companies, taking us to court, getting us arrested, not realizing that the persons that should be arrested is who they're working for. Oh. Sitting behind. I don't know if you've been watching some of the, even I come out and I watch the movies, I mean not movies, but news about Wells Fargo people. And I was doing business with Wells Fargo while just having a bank account there. But after I heard what they were doing, and I remember them guys asking me if I wanted some other saving accounts for the granddaughters, grandsons. And they said, we could set up an account for every one of them. I remember that. And now I know that the CEOs of those companies, even if he's fired or retired, he'll get $650 million. And they're even asking him, members of Congress, to resign. Some saying, you belong in jail. And I couldn't take it, so I went to the bank and I said, I'm sorry, but I'm going to close a few accounts here. All my grandkids. I did set up accounts for them. But we are being ripped off. We're being ripped off not only by the banks, by these companies that want to bring fracking to this community, unless it's already here. But hopefully, you're gonna have to be missionaries for Mother Earth. You're gonna have to go out door to door between now and they vote, and just say those yes on Z, protecting our water, ban the fracking. Every home we should have it at nighttime. Go and put those on their lawns. Tell them Dennis Banks sent you. Tell them you're a missionary for Mother Earth. We have a big responsibility in front of us. Huge. Not just yes on Z, not just protecting our water, not just ban fracking, but we have to ban a lot of things that are bad, things that we drink. My granddaughter bought a whole 6-pack of Mountain Dew. Got almost 70% of caffeine. And a couple of days ago, when I was drinking some tea, I always drink tea, herbal tea. So I said, Santana, I said, do you ever drink tea? She said, oh, no. And I said, what about coffee? She said, no. She said, I don't like it. And then she opened up her fridge and she said, oh, in fact, filled with Mountain Dew. And I pulled it out. I said, you won't drink coffee because it has too much caffeine? Look at this. Do you ever read these labels? I read the labels. I'm a diabetic. I'm a full-blown diabetic, but I've not taken any insulin ever since I was declared a diabetic because I do a lot of walking. I know if I spike my sugar, I'll go out and walk a mile out, come back and back down to normal. I run about 105 to 130 on my, those of you who are not diabetics, that's a good temperature number for diabetes. It's your sugar count. So you always want to keep it low. Some people, on the other hand, have the opposite effect. Theirs go low. So we have to. That's strange that some of us are affected with diabetes, and the higher sugar, the worse it is for you. On the other hand, the ones on, they're, I forget the term they use for them. If they have low sugar, they go into shock. And you got to rush some orange juice to them, or you got to get some candy in their mouth, and it raises their sugar. So I used to have I just got out of the hospital, and I carried a band. It says DNR, and it says, that means do not resuscitate. And I want that on it because I don't want to, I have a weak heart. I have to talk to my heart every day. I don't talk to it like, please, please. I talk to it in a very stern way. And I say, look, if you guys are going to check out on me, all of you guys want to check out all the, both kidneys. You want to check out too with the heart, the liver, the pancreas. If you guys, what about the brain? If you guys want to check out, go ahead and check out because I'm going to keep going. What I'm going to do, I'm going to find a 1-year-old horse and I'm going to ask him for his heart. And then I'm going to open up mine and I'm going to take the heart out, the liver, the kidneys, the pancreas, anything that's not with me. And I will bring them one by one